I just felt like going live. Jeez. These people don't know how to drive. Hey, whoever it is. It's kind of like a car video. And no, you see the thing. I'm not a police officer. I'm just a security guard. I don't want to be a police officer. I want to dismantle police. I want to dismantle that. I'll just say that. But yeah, I wanted to talk about something because I don't know if you can see me. Sorry, I know I'm driving. Some people don't like that. But I'm just making this regardless of if somebody view it or not. Live. But I just felt like talking about, black people specifically. It seemed like we have a problem, like, excluding people, like, just talking about our issues, and I feel like us being so inclusive about everything and worry about everybody else's other problem. The problem is when we worry about everybody else's problem, we don't get what we need done. We don't get done what we need to get done. And unfortunately, that's just what it is, because the other group of people that we are worried about, they're like, okay, yeah, help me. Like they think their problem is the worst, and or that they need attention. They're selfish, as we're selfless. Like we're inclusive and they're more exclusive. They will allow you to come and help them with their movement, but they won't come and help us with ours. Not where it counts anyway. Because I have a thing about protests. Protests, they don't change anything. They don't do anything. Back in the 60s, they had plans of action, not just protesting. If all you're doing is protesting for 10 straight years, and that's it, you're just marching in the streets, there's not a law is going to be changed. Nothing is going to be done by you protesting, simply walking down the road. Like, we have to boycott. We have to support black businesses. We have to, buy things that will create change, to collectively bring our money together and become the change. We must elevate our minds. We must gather and manifest things together as one in unity. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think that one thing that's preventing us from having unity is because we are so spread out, we're like the parents. We literally are the parents of civilization. Black people were first, and all of the races came from us, or some derivatives of us, despite them having other DNA. Neanderthal DNA, says scientists, and all that. They still have some of our genes in us. So us being the parents and grandparents, we like to take care of everybody else, and we forget to take care of ourselves. We forget to put our problems on the forefront. It's always on the back burner. And this goes into me not thinking, being selfish is automatically a bad thing. If you need to help yourself over helping somebody else, help yourself. I don't see that as a negative thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. The problem is when everybody else is helping themselves and not helping you, but you're always helping them, like being so selfless. And I know that has been so like holified, like that has been like packaged as a holy trait, a trait of God, to be selfless and to be completely giving and to not grab things and hold on to them and do for yourself, and to be selfish. And really, selfish gets a bad rep anyway, because I guess we should say self-preserving. Maybe we should say that, because I feel like most people see selfish in only one way. And I want to dismantle that, but since that's like a trigger word for some people, even though it's the opposite of selfless. I feel like selfless is a negative thing, and I don't think that God is completely selfless. I don't think that um, Yeshua was complete. I say Yeshua, that was actually his name instead of Jesus, just so I know. I don't think that he was completely selfless. Yes, he died for our sins. Even though some verses say he came to establish a kingdom on earth, and not to die first. But anyways, I'm not even here to talk about religion or spirituality. So I'm not going to get too far into that. But I don't think that I think that it's bad to be too selfless, and I think it's bad to be too selfish. And I think they're equally bad. I don't think one is better than the other. Yeah, the person who's benefiting from you being selfless and them taking constantly from you thinks it's great. Of course they think it's great. You know, parasites think that, you know, their host is doing a wonderful thing. And I think that is the problem. That's the issue with us. We don't realize that we're just being sucked dry, like our movements and stuff like that. It's not everybody, of course, but it's too many. For me, it's too many who are giving and not receiving. And the people who don't like what I'm saying are the ones who are sucking us dry. We just need to ignore them not liking it. Like, I made a post that said, "I'm going to be free even if you hate me." So I'd rather be free than loved. I have self-love. I have all the love I need inside. Trust me. So I'm gonna be free, and if that pisses you off, then you'll be pissed off for the rest of your days. So I feel like black people, we need to be a little bit more selfish and do for ourselves and do for self. We need to focus on our problems. That need to be on the forefront. Everything else needs to be secondary. That's how everybody else not even focus on their problems, and the ones who are, they have ours second. I'm not even finna name any groups because it's not even about that. That's going to distract from my point. And the point is, we just need to have, every group needs to have their thing first and everything else second, including black people. Black people don't need to be the only ones who put their stuff last and do for everybody else. That's not a God trait. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what verse you have. Really, there is no verse that says being completely selfless is divine, is of God, is a trait of God. That's not in the Bible whatsoever. And if it was, it's a temperate lie. So please stop deifying and making selflessness be like, oh, you're just so, you're holy because of it. There's no evidence of that. There's no proof of that. You're just dead. You're just giving away. If you love yourself and respect yourself, you won't sacrifice yourself for no reason. You won't not do for yourself. If you love your people, you wouldn't put them last and put others first above them. But that's how I see it. I know a lot of black people, they love, they love other races, and they'll treat them nicer than they will black people, the people that look like them. If anything, it would be the opposite for me. Like, I see beauty, I see divinity when I see that melanin, and I respect it highly. I respect everybody else, but I respect highly my brothers and sisters, especially the ones who respect the things that I'm doing and respect, and it's a mutual respect thing. You shouldn't put each other on pedestals and all that. I don't believe in that celebrity idol worship and stuff. It's like I don't believe, which leads into some other stuff like white worship and stuff. Like, so many things are like subjective, like talent, for instance. Some people can have talent, in your opinion, like rap, for instance. Like, I don't get why people think Eminem. I don't know why black people think Eminem is all that. I don't. I heard his songs before I even, when I was younger, growing up, whatever. I heard some of his popular songs. They weren't hitting like that for me. I don't see why he's like touted as the best lyricist. I don't personally understand it. But my point is, when and that's still subjective. That's not an objective fact that he is the best lyricist. That's an opinion. So, and what is that opinion based off of? Is where I'm going with this. Now, something you created, like black people created hip hop and rap and all that, and because of our view of white people, like uplifting them, whatever, having a worship, whatever, putting them on pedestals, they come in be less than your greatest, but you will put them above your greatest. You know, like, oh no, yeah, he slayed the game, whatever. You know, I just don't feel like it's unbiased. Like, it's linked to the skin color that's just how I see it. I feel like a lot of times that's linked to the skin color, and when it's not, that still leads to confusion. That still leads to, in my opinion, that still leads to confusion of other people who is seeing that. If you're putting like, and it's not nobody's fault, but I'm just saying, if you're putting a white person on a pedestal as the peak, the top of rap, whatever it is, something that black people created, kids growing up, and you're just praising him, you just gushing always about him or whatever. People seeing that, the black kids seeing that, whoa, so this white guy's, even if that's not your intention and you just looking at his talent, they'll be like, this white guy, so this white guy is the best in this field and stuff. I feel like a lot of kids in the younger generation don't even know that black people created rap and hip hop. They probably just, don't know that much about music history at all. We created country and rock and roll too, and folk music. We created like basically everything except like classical music. But what's classical music? Africans have classical music that predate European classical music, and that's usually what we're talking about when we talk about classical music. And I honestly feel like a lot of those instruments they stole anyway, but that's another story for another day. But I don't want to really get too deep. How's everybody doing? If anybody's still in here, I'm driving. I don't think anybody is really in here, but my day was good. I just hope that we support each other, the black people, and that we don't just, that we're not dismissive of each other. I feel like it's almost like we'll be, I don't know, like it's just something. Like I see every black person, like I'm just open. I'm like just open to possibilities of any black person. Like, to being friends. I see you as a king if you're doing the right thing and you're black. Until you give me a reason to not respect you, I will respect you. And it's not the bare minimum, respect. I don't know, I just have I'm just the opposite. I'm just so much different. Because I feel a familial connection, a familial bond with my brothers and sisters, but they'll just think that's crazy. White people tell us, you can't love them because of their skin color, but I do. I love the skin color. I love the melanin. I love the family ties. We share more than just melanin. We share experiences. We share roots. We share bloodlines. And I just wish my people would if we just loved and respected each other, brotherly love, sibling love, familial love. That's what I'm talking about here. And I'm just open to that, but it just seemed like no. I know people too that don't really get that. It's not really received. It's not really reciprocated. It's like, it's like, okay, the other black guy or girl is like on guard. I remember I had complimented this beautiful black woman, like, and that doesn't change because she was rude or anything. Well, to an extent it does. Because if somebody has an ugly spirit, that changes them in my eyes over time. But I complimented this beautiful black sister who was wearing her natural hair. She had the beautiful defined curls out and everything. It was coiled and stuff, and I just complimented her. I went into, it was like Walgreens or something. I said, "I love your hair." Before I started into asking her whatever my question was, I said, I love your hair." She looked at me crazy, like you can't see my face, but she looked me up and down, like, "Why are you talking to me? First of all, you work here, so." But she was more like, "Why are you complimenting me?" I'm like, and I'm just like, I guess, because some men are like me. Like, I don't see every woman as a sex object that's not my family member. So I just see you as a beautiful sister. I like to, if anything, start everything off with a friendship and then let it evolve with women. If it's gonna go there, I don't go seeking that. But I guess she assumed, I don't know, like, maybe she had experiences in the past and she thinks compliments mean that you want to bone her or whatever. But I'm just trying to uplift my sisters. And not every black woman is like that, because it's a lot of, like, her poetic truth. And I'm trying to, Mallory, I'm trying to remember her tag name, but she's, she gets that too, and that's all my post is about. Is not to get anything. It's about to give something, to give upliftment, to give love and life to. It's not to get anything. I don't want anything from you, but your respect and appreciation, like I'm giving to you, really, But yeah, she was like, she had nasty looking. She didn't even say anything back, and and made like a nasty face, and and I proceeded to ask my question. I was like, it was just, but I have good and bad experiences, but I feel like the bad experiences outweigh the good. I feel like black people, I be trying to collaborate with them or whatever, link up and do something, pro-black related, or just hang out or whatever. It's not received. It's just not, and I don't know, but I just, and what bothers me about that on a deeper level is that because I feel like that's a bigger problem overall in our community, that it's not just me, it's everybody. It's just like, okay, so you don't feel a sense of community, you don't feel a sense of brotherhood, you don't sense of a sense of sisterhood, you don't sense a sense of collective love. You don't look at me and see a family member, a potential friend. You don't look at other black people that way. You just gravitate to wherever, and that does drive people away. I know it does. It drives people away to, okay, well, if black people, sorry, and I'm not speaking, but they'll say, I know this is also a problem. Like, they'll say, okay, so black people not messing with me, like they never wanna, they no new friends, all that. Okay, it's like a one-time conversation. I try to link, whatever, they not feeling me, they giving me a cold shoulder, whatever. Okay, this white person is cool with me, trying to hang out, trying to do whatever. And so, okay, I'm gonna be friends with them. Like, okay. And some people had experience where they felt like they had experience where black women felt like they were nerdy. They didn't like the good guys. All the black women around him that he knew, he tried to date, whatever, they all rejected him. They didn't like the good guys. So, but the white girls are clawing down his door. So it's like, I feel like it's the black community's fault too, in part, why that happens. Why black people go and be friends with other races, because they actually embrace them better than the black people are embracing them. They don't like to embrace. Some black people don't like to embrace other black people. They standoffish. They're not effing with it, and that's sad. But that's a I feel like something that people don't talk about is very real though. And I feel like we shouldn't sweep it under the rug or anything. I want us all to unite, and I feel like we need that deeper connection, not just on a surface level. And that's why I'm discussing this, because I feel like it's important. Everybody, because trust me, like everybody needs to have self love and feel fulfilled within themselves and discover God within. I'm not here to talk about me, but I don't need anybody to feel fulfilled. But I do feel a family connection. So, I just feel like, and I'm speaking for everybody else who felt that way. Because I know a lot of people have. Who's not embraced by their community, so they stray and go wherever else. And you can't go around, you can't easily move around to different cities, and I ain't finna do all that work to find black people that's gonna embrace me. So some people will be like, F that, if y'all don't want me, and the white people do, the Asian people do, the Hispanic people do, then I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna be against y'all. I'm not like that. But I'm just speaking to how I'm giving the reason why I feel like another reason why I feel like black people should embrace each other more. Because if you are crapping on black people, the new black kid in class, the new black employee, you have an attitude, you're standoffish, you don't want to F with them. You don't have the right to then complain when other black people, I feel like, from my perspective, you don't have a right to complain when they go off and make white friends and stuff like that because they embrace them. It's like I feel like honestly, hello? Oh no, it didn't auto connected to my freaking Wi-Fi. I feel like some black people feel like, if we, no, you can't go over there. Like, if either we embrace you or you gotta stay alone. Like, you gotta be excommunicated. And so I can't completely blame those people that do whatever, go outside of the culture if they're being completely just crapped on. But yeah, I mean, it's just a tricky situation. I just wish, I think I'm just bringing this up because I feel like we should think about it in a different way. And I'm not talking about romance, 'cause I know that's a dead horse that's been beaten over and over. But just think about it, like our leaders, whatever, big people, whatever, like whoever, just keep this in mind. Whoever you reject might reject the entire community, might be rejected by the entire community, and might go over somewhere else and just be their ally, be their enemy against you, and you're losing ranks and people and brothers and sisters that could have been on, that could have stood with you when crap will hit the fan. Um, just embrace people. Like, everybody want to embrace everybody in the world, everything, every sex, every whatever you want to be. But I'm just like, I feel like black people don't want to embrace us. How about every black person embrace all black people? How about that? Like, how about that be forefront about accepting people, accepting each other? How about that? That's first and foremost for me. First, how about we accept black people first? Every black person, no matter how they come. Because I feel like we'll accept this, that, and the fourth, all kind of, will accept a little alien that comes down to earth before we accept the black man down the street, the black woman down the street, because she might be a different shape, a different size, look differently. He might be differently. He might like anime. He might be a geek or a nerd or whatever. He might not have swag, so we're gonna reject him, and he's gonna go hang out with the white people, and we're gonna lose a brother, an essential brother piece of our family, and potentially we could lose him because if he grew up with white friends, and we could potentially lose his life because, again, we saw these stories where white people happily pretended to be black people's friends just to murder them. And one happened like recently, I think last month, where they taught the whole plan was revealed. Like they befriended this guy for weeks and weeks and months. Like, and I honestly feel like this happened because he was so desperate for friends, but nobody black wanted to be him, and these white people were just so embracing and stuff. So he was like, yeah, cool. And so he was lured and he was befriended. They worked on it for weeks and stuff, and then invited him out of town and slaughtered him, and butchered him with a smile and said that they were happy to do it. I'm just like, the black people who are rejecting black people, who don't want to make time for them, but can make time for their white friends, for this one, that one, that one, this one, outside their family. It might be partially your fault. Like, I'm just saying, that's how I feel. Like, hey, because some people, they go where they can get the attention, and we can't blame them when they weak. We have to see where people are. We can't expect everybody to be strong and to not make mistakes and to not want a companion. But they shouldn't have to. We should be there for each other. So that's my take on that. Yeah. Okay, I'm home, so I'm gonna just get out. Hopefully somebody sees this. Everybody left, so maybe they weren't feeling what I had to say. I might save this. I might freaking put this up somewhere. All this gonna be in it. Okay, how do I end this? How do I end?